Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, coming to you from Mindset Monday, and I'm going to talk about a personal experience this weekend that happened, and this is a great lesson for my son. Right? So, we always talk about how sports mirrors life, and I've learned that hiring people that are former athletes or current athletes, they tend to perform way better in the workplace, and there's a reason for that. It's because they've gone through the ups and the downs of sports. They know how to work as a team. They know how to work towards a goal. Okay, and for us, being in entrepreneurship and being in sales, there's a lot of similarities to that. So they have some baked in experiences that are going to help them be more successful. Right. So my son played a hockey tournament this weekend, and he got picked up on this super team. And you could just tell, like, the first game one, they won 11-2. All right, he played great, had 3 assists. Second game, I think they won 12-4. Then the third game, they won 5-0. All right, so they were 3-0, and they were going into the championship game in the finals. And you could tell, like, the kids, the parents, no one was really taking it seriously because we were just walking every single team. Like, you just felt it. Okay. And so the way they worked is they had two 20-minute periods instead of doing three 15-minute periods. And after during the championship game, they were actually up 3-0 going into the last period. They wound up only a goal with 12 seconds left, and the other team wound up scoring and tying to take it to overtime. And then in overtime, they had a bunch of chances, but you just felt like the momentum was shifting in a major way. And they kind of got a goal that was a fluky goal, and so they lost, right? And they didn't lose because they weren't the better team. They lost because they didn't take it seriously. All right. This is the same thing I see happen when a company has 2 or 3 great months in a row and they decide to take their foot off the gas because everything's going well. It's the same thing I see with sales guys that have 1 or 2 or 3 amazing months, right? They're building this momentum. Then they stop doing what got them there. They stop feeling worthy of that success. They don't put in the same type of work, time, dedication, right? And then what happens is something slips up and they lose, and then they lose again and again. And then now they're going on this losing streak. And the whole reason they're going on this losing streak, guys, is because they stopped doing what made them successful in the first place. They stopped paying attention to the little details. They stopped executing on the little details, right? And so in order for them or anyone in that situation to rebuild momentum, you have to go back to step one and just cover the basics. All right. And do the little things that got you there, that made you successful. Right. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, that's terrible, man, that happens. But at the same time, man, like, in everything, and I think people forget about that, especially in today's society, right? There's a winner and a loser for everything. There's not 17th place and all this bullshit.
No.
Because I guarantee you that those kids are going to remember that forever. You're always going to typically remember the losses more than the wins.
Yeah.
And you got me sitting here thinking, man, good old some old glory days stuff, right? Like losses and stuff like that hit me, and it sucks. Yeah. Sports always correlate to life. I mean, even Q&AF this morning, they're talking about how sports correlates to business. It's the ultimate team game. It's the ultimate, I love to correlate it to football too, but it's the ultimate team game. It's the ultimate test, mental test, X's and O's, putting the right people in the right places in the right positions to get the W. Yep. And dude, just like in sports and in business, it's when you get up, that's why you drive the needle in 100 to 0, right? Like you don't stop. And then some parents, I can see, oh my God, they're winning, put in the bench, put in the second team. Like, yeah, maybe if you got like a minute or two left in the game, sure. Right. And like you're going to pull it out, but to not, man, that sucks, dude. Like,
yeah. Well, listen, it's a life lesson learned.
Yeah.
And it's going to stick with them. Right. And I got to tell you, it was a 4-hour car ride home. Mm-hmm. Okay. That was not a fun car ride.
No.
We drove a lot. And he definitely, I think, the lessons set in, and I'll give you like another example. Like I waited outside for him, and I said, "Hey, did they give you a trophy or a medal?" Because usually, when you're in a tournament and you come in second, you're getting a medal. Like they're not giving it to everybody. Okay, I actually haven't seen them do that at these tournaments, so I'm very grateful for that. It's usually first, second, maybe third, depending on how many teams.
Right.
And I asked him, I go, "Hey, did you pick up your trophy or medal?" He goes, "Nah, I don't want that shit." I'm like, "All right, that's my boy."
Uh,
You know, and but it's tough because they put in all this time, they put in all this effort. Now, this was kind of like a select team that was thrown together at the last minute. None of these kids played with each other, but they were steamrolling everybody, and so it's crazy how many adults this happens to, and they don't know how to handle it, right? So learning this stuff early is going to give you a massive leg up in life. That's why sports is so important for kids and their development, because it teaches them that you have to work hard the entire time. It teaches them that you're got to work as a team the entire time. And if anything is off, okay, that will absolutely impact the outcome, and people don't learn that early enough in life, and they think everything's just going to be handed to them, right? That's why I'm telling you, keep your kids in sports, make them finish. It makes a big, big difference. And those skills that they're learning are very transferable later on in life. Like they'll know how to dig, they'll know how to work hard, they'll know how to work with other people. Okay, they'll know how to lead, and hopefully they'll know how to follow. Right. And these are all things that you don't get from a textbook. These are all things that you need to go and have real life experiences to learn. And they're not always going to be positive experiences. So you have to teach them how to separate what was they did well and take the good out of that. So the lesson, okay. And then you have to teach them, where they need to go to learn from. And so that mistake doesn't happen again. And this shit is critical, guys. So, it was a good weekend, but ultimately kind of tough. Dave, you got anything else on this?
Yeah, man. Usually, just an experience and seeing other things in life, especially in sports. Usually, when there's some type of loss, especially a dramatic loss, the positive out of it, it's going to usually, right, 99% of the time, drive you forward to success in some other manner. So, what could probably happen with those kids, right? Like they're going to look at it, they're going to stew on it. If there's an off season, they're going to come back stronger. They're going to come together as a team, as a family, right? They're going to probably learn about each other. They're going to practice more together. They're going to know where somebody's going to be on the ice when a pass is coming, or if they're running the blue line like that, right? Like they're going to get better and know. And then what's going to happen is they're going to be so badass when they come down that, somebody's coming up, boom, checking to the boards. I mean,
Yep.
may not laugh at them, right? Hopefully they do, because that's the way sports should be played. And then just continuously kick ass. Like, I'm sure you've gone through experiences with that in your life. I've gone through experiences with that in life. The last experience I had, dude, like we stewed for an off season because we got embarrassed bad. And in the weight room, that's all we talked about all year. And then finally, when that time came, dude, we put a shutout and an ass whooping that you would never believe the next year. And then we laughed about it. We got up so big that we said, "Hey, man, how can we hammer these guys even more?" Because they laughed at us on the sideline last year, and we just talked shit up and down the sideline all day. Just told them, "Yo, remember that. Don't forget it. Don't forget it." And that's it, man. You're going to come back. You're always going to come back stronger. That's the positive side of this. And a lot of times you do need those L's, man, to understand kind of what you have at your disposal.
Yeah. It tests you, it tests. All right, guys. Well, listen, you heard it here. Share this with someone that needs to hear it. We appreciate you, and we will catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Sorry we didn't have Financial Fitness Friday last Friday, but I was away at the tournament. There was no way to do it. So we'll catch you guys this Friday. Thanks. Keep kicking ass.
Be great, y'all.